gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE. Oh yeah! Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the hub city in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. And your co-host, hailing from the valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi. And joining me this evening is the full-time part-timer himself, Ian Garavaglia. Ian, what's up, dog, from 1992?
What's up, dog? I see you have upgraded your webcam, which I can't wait to see how many comments are brought up about it, even though, yes, we see it. We understand what's going on, but you are off doing some dog watching at the old parents' house, and the Wi-Fi is not doing the hottest, so we'll answer that question right off the bat before you guys start asking. But I'm doing great.
And I'm sure we will address it again, but yeah, we're doing all right over here in OTM land. I mean, kind of a relatively quiet week, I guess you would say, in professional wrestling, but nowadays, Ian, even the quiet weeks, I feel like there's still stuff you can talk about.
Dude, I was going to say, like, Dynamite last night, I thoroughly enjoyed. Raw, I loved. Raw was awesome episode.
Loved Raw.
I genuinely, that was the first time in a minute that the entire thing I was excited to watch. Genuinely.
So this might surprise you. I enjoyed Dynamite probably this week more than I enjoyed Raw.
Wow, look at us.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Not me. But, yeah, especially under these circumstances, I can't even get over myself lagging like crazy, but I swear I will stop distracting myself because we are going live, and we are live, so we're going to deal with it regardless. But we are live at a different time tonight, as you can tell. Tornadoes are coming towards northwest Indiana again, but that wasn't the real reason why we moved it up. Ian, we just felt like going an hour earlier, right?
Yeah, I got some Minecraft to play after this. I'm building a mob spawner right now, so I know you know a lot about Minecraft, and I know you're very intrigued. So, yeah, it's kind of a big deal. A lot of building. I got to do a lot of wood collecting, but yeah, we're doing good.
I don't know what I'm going to do tonight because the Cardinals have an off day today. So
same with the Cubs.
It's kind of like, what am I going to do other than maybe take shelter? But time will tell.
NBA? Will tell. NBA's tonight.
Dude,
Pacers.
Fuck the NBA.
Come on, support the Pacers. I hate the NBA too.
I will support the Pacers since I am a Hoosier.
Thank you.
And they have Thomas Bryant, right? He's on the team.
I have no idea.
See, this is how much we pay attention to the NBA over here. Once again, guys, this is a professional wrestling podcast, which we definitely know much more about. But before we get into all things professional wrestling, Ian, why don't you tell all the listeners and people watching live right now what we are on the road to here on YouTube?
Well, we are on the road to 500 subscribers, and we have done a milestone before with the giveaways. We do like a good giveaway. Fresh out of the Jim Tucker collection. Again, we set the precedent. I don't think it's going to happen because I think Jim Tucker's making a return here soon, our beloved other co-host.
You know what, Ian? Let's just announce it now. Breaking news, he has confirmed next week Jim Tucker will return to OTM. So there you go.
So you better be here. We need a welcoming party for Jim Tuck because he has been stressing himself out on trying to make it work. He wants to be here. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. But we are on the road to 500 subscribers where we will be giving away a signed Kurt Angle figure. In the past, at our 400 subscriber mark, we gave away a Rey Mysterio figure, not signed. I don't think it was signed.
I don't know if it was signed, but I do know Jay Gold ended up winning it.
Yes. But yeah, if you want your chance at that Kurt Angle signed figure, it is authenticated and everything. Got the authentication sticker, so if you're a guy that likes to sell, make a quick buck and subscribe.
And that's not the only reason to subscribe, guys, because we're just good dudes, or at least we think we're good dudes. You guys tell us we are, at least some of you do, but we like to talk wrestling every single Thursday, usually at 7 p.m. Central. Tonight, just had to move things up for a little bit. So if you want to keep up with us, know when we are going to be going live, make sure you're following us on all the socials. We're on Instagram, we're on X, we're on everything, at Pot on the Mark. And then, as you can see where Ian's pointing, and then the graphic behind me, of course, if you're watching, the Main Event Wrestling Network. Ian, I think we can also break this news as well. What's on the agenda for next weekend?
Well, kind of interesting. I am intrigued, and I will be a part of it. I'm intrigued on how it's going to go, but it'll be a 24-hour live stream where it's literally the encapsulation of what the Main Event Wrestling Network is. We're all coming together for one whole project, and it was a Tino's time. If you know him, if you don't know him, go know him and go watch his stuff because he does daily content, and he's a maniac. But he came up with the idea for a nonstop 24-hour live stream. Some of it will be pre-recorded. I will let you know ahead of time.
Only 3 hours of it, though. Full disclosure. That's pretty impressive.
Because I think it's like at 3 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah, the graveyard shift is going to be ran by Paperclip Mike. But I'll tell you what, you'll be on YouTube regardless afterwards. So even if you can't watch live and you do want to sleep, you can watch back the next day. And Paperclip Mike does great things on Twitch.
Damn straight.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, wait, I did say it, so there you go. The Wrestling Junkies are in the chat, though. The first to the chat, which means that's Mr. Cincinnati. Mr. Cincinnati, did once again, he didn't get to see Stan from Burlington on NXT Night Shift this week, Ian. He missed out.
One day it's going to happen. I'm looking forward to that moment. It's going to be very heartwarming.
It's going to be glorious, as Bobby Roode would have said. Yeah. Hey, what do you think of the wind jacket here? What a windbreaker jacket? I don't know what they're called. The NXT Night Shift, baby.
I love it. I wish we had every single logo of ours on a windbreaker because windbreakers are fucking awesome. But I know they're not available on the shop. But other stuff is.
I wish we could. Yeah, that would be great. But once again, this is still our merch site, but things could be changing in the near future. So just, pay attention to us. We'll let you know. But for now, if you want to support the show, the best way of doing so is heading to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast, getting some cool merch like the hat that Ian's wearing right there. And he loves it. He wears it all the time.
I do. Anytime I am having a bad hair day, this thing is going on me, and I am leaving the house.
Yeah, there you go. And you could be just like Ian. Wear it everywhere you go. But hey, he wore that hat to Pro Wrestling Ventures last week. So why don't we actually talk about that? I almost forgot that we were there in Cincinnati for a cup of coffee because we both got in there relatively close to bell time. But obviously don't want to give you too much behind the curtain. But once again, just a phenomenal show, a great atmosphere there at Rheingeist Brewery. Ian, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about our experience there last weekend?
We have sang the praises of Pro Wrestling Ventures and or Warrior Wrestling, whatever you want to call them or whatever you know them by. Again, we had Steve last week on the podcast, and I was very honest. I didn't tell him to his face because it would kind of be a dickhead move, but I wasn't 100% sold on going. Kyle can assure that was the case. After that talk,
it was a game-time decision.
It was, yes, because I had the dogs, and I was really iffy about that. I'm trying to fix that, don't worry. But after the talk, I said, okay, well, he's giving me no other choice but to go. And I am so damn glad I went. Not just because I got to see Cincinnati, like downtown-ish area for the first time. Beautiful area, by the way. Really cool area. But got to see the Wrestling Junkies. And every single match on that little small 5-person card or 5-match card delivered. And the best thing about over-delivered by a mile. Absolutely. And the best thing that I took away from it was the crowd was the perfect kind of wrestling crowd because they weren't smart marks. They were just people. Half of the people were probably just
having a good time.
Go to the brewery that we went to at Rheingeist. And shout out to Rheingeist. I also tweeted that out. Rheingeist were incredibly amazing, just being welcoming to everybody. We had a little situation with a little dog. So and they were very welcoming to that, and they worked around it. So Yeah, shout out to Pro Wrestling Ventures. Seriously, if they announce anything within like a 2-hour radius, go. Please go for our sake, because they are incredible people and they deserve all the support in the world.
Listen, you guys know us well. We've been doing this show for almost 6 years, 200-something episodes. We're going to be real with you guys, and we know how to have a good time. A Pro Wrestling Ventures / Warrior Wrestling show is a certified great time. I'm telling you, because it is ran by great people with great minds for the business, and that's why we love going to their shows. And you had people in Cincinnati that wanted them to come back. They were asking, hey, when are you going to come back and run a show here? Who knows? But if you reach out to @Pro Wrestling Ventures on X and say, hey, come to our city, and you got a venue, Steve could probably hook them up.
Yep.
Like, Steve's very open to having those conversations.
Yeah, I'm the head scout of Indianapolis, by the way. I've only been to one brewery, and it was not big enough. But the only thing is, if you are a beer drinker, they want it at breweries because it's an awesome atmosphere. And they need just, when you walk into a brewery in the tap room, just imagine a wrestling ring in the middle. And if a wrestling ring can work with a crowd of about 200, 250 people, you're onto it. You got it. So let Steve know. And I think we had the tag up there earlier @Pro Wrestling Ventures, but go to them, go DM them. I promise you they will respond and they will listen.
Yes, because our boy Henry is usually the man running the socials, but he could definitely get you into the contacts with the right people. Or hell, maybe he's the right person to talk to. But regardless, Rumble at Ryan Geist was a success last Friday in Cincinnati. Can't wait for their next show. But it was a wrestling-filled weekend for us then, obviously, because on Saturday, Ian, we had WWE Backlash. Now, a lot of people going into it, the hype wasn't really there, which is fair. We're just coming off of WrestleMania 4 weeks ago, so it's tough to get, pumped up for another PLE or pay-per-view. But in my opinion, as a whole, I would say Backlash over-delivered. So as a whole to you, how did this PLE come off?
It was nice because, first of all, it was on Saturday, which do that every time, please. Every single wrestling company out there, because you can actually have fun. That sounds really bad. You can drink while we're watching wrestling, as I just talked about. Drinking and wrestling go hand in hand. But yeah, like you said, it over-delivered. I think the hangover from WrestleMania is still kind of affecting everybody.
Sure.
And according to Twitter, WWE is in a sinkhole right now and declining rapidly.
Right?
But it sounded like that St. Louis crowd had a lot of fun, and it sounded like I had a really good time, and it sounded like you had a really good time. So
I did.
Crazy how that works.
And it's tough. So, obviously, we made that trip on Friday, and it was 4 hours there, 4 hours back. I didn't get home.
That's brutal.
I didn't get home until 3 a.m. I didn't fall asleep till 4 a.m. I woke up at 7 a.m. 3 hours of sleep. Did not nap the entire day, Ian. And I'm like, okay, let's see if I can get through Backlash. I got through the entire show without falling asleep.
First off, you are a psycho. I got back at 1 and had to wake up at 8. But now, that is very easy. Compared to that, I would not have made it.
Hey, shout out to the Great Brown Hope for stopping by. He said he was going to leave or call off work early. I hope he did that, unless he's just on the shitter right now. Either way, that's main event moves right there in the chat. And also, shout out to our boy, Eric Douglas. He said, hi, how is everyone? Eric, we're doing great.
Good.
Ian, yeah, right? You're doing great, aren't you?
Yeah, tired. That's about it.
Tired. So I'm not tired yet. I probably will be very soon, unless we die, like I said, because of the tornado. But regardless, let's go into the card a little bit here. Obviously, nothing really surprising. No surprising outcomes, I should say, in any of the matches, other than maybe Lyra versus Becky. That one kind of surprised me a little bit, but that match itself, Ian, at least for me, was probably the best in-ring match of the night. I don't know. It's tough, though, because that fatal four-way at the beginning, and then the main event was good, too.
Yeah, I was going to say the fatal four-way was awesome. The main event was just that was wrestling, That was pure graps, as the people would like to say. I mean, two old veterans going at it and making it work, and going back to the basics of wrestling, and it worked. I was going to say the women's match was really good. The fatal four-way was fantastic. I think Paul Levesque is really catching on to, fatal four-ways, triple threats. You could throw good wrestlers in there, and it's going to deliver.
Yeah, for sure. Like Lyra and Becky, that one really surprised me just because I thought Lyra would be the one chasing, but I don't know. It seems like Becky's still going to be going after Lyra after what we saw on Monday Night Raw, which we will touch on a little bit. But I don't know if you had anything else to add.
No, I was going to touch on actually what you just said, Becky on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, then we'll pencil it then for later. But Jacob Fatu did retain that U.S. title. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. It seems like things aren't over for those two, which I don't know how you feel about it. I could go either way. I feel like we kind of just had the conclusion at WrestleMania, and it's like, okay, we don't have anything for these two right now, so let's just keep them feuding, you know?
It feels to me like they are trying to force the whole fight forever thing, or like bonded together through wrestling forever. I love Drew McIntyre. I like Damian Priest. Like, again, I don't have anything about his character that's like, okay, I need to see what he does next. It's brutally honest, but
yeah, and
I
there's
think that's a
also
common
like,
thing.
you know what's weird? Sorry to cut you off, but like
you're
going
good.
off of Damian Priest, it's like there's also nothing that he does really wrong. You know,
Correct.
like he's not bad. He's just, but you're right. He needs that something.
And I thought that his presentation at WrestleMania, like him at WrestleMania, that presentation is how he should be displayed. I don't know. It's something is missing. Something with this
Something's missing,
character, and you can't put your finger on it. He
No.
needs to go into the experiment mode of, okay, I've gotten to this spot, but my ceiling is where he's at now. He's not a main event contender.
Dude,
he's not
and
believable.
Been through a lot of gimmicks already.
Yeah,
And he's like 45.
Oh, that is crazy.
I was gonna say
good.
he's up there. He's
Like-
he's a good wrestler. We're not shitting on him. Exactly.
No, he is a very good wrestler, and his matches are always pretty damn good. It's just there's more to him, and I want to see it come out. Like, I hate the super babyface, like, oh, I'm gonna hurt you promos. It doesn't work anymore. Why? Where's the emotion?
And this just
Hate
might be
Mark.
nitpicking Def Rebel some more just for the sake of it, but like the corny beginnings really don't do it for me either. Like, all rise every time he's coming out. Like, that's so corny. That just doesn't do it. I don't know. Maybe we're just, complaining for the sake of complaining at this point, right?
I just need that Alter Bridge song back for Judgment Day. Just have that
If
as a
you
song.
believe
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bring back real music. Pay money for licensed music. I don't care how much these people are.
Tony
charged. Just
does
do
it.
Yeah, Tony does it. Then even if it's one night, but fuck it.
I was gonna say Triple H probably got more money. Actually, no, he probably doesn't.
Well-
Tony Khan's probably way more wealthier than Triple H is. Or I shouldn't say way more, but at this point, apples to oranges, We got Eric in the comments section. He said Randy was giving out RKOs like it was Oprah with a new car. Yeah, that's a good point, Eric. He was there in that main event. I like that fun spot. Like, I don't think there's any harm in that whatsoever. And going back to what you were saying earlier about Randy Orton versus John Cena, it was just a simplistic approach to professional wrestling that a lot of the purists, I think, could appreciate. But there was also a lot of people that didn't like it, Ian. Like, we were saying it was a snooze fest, but to me, that was exactly what I wanted from John Cena and Randy Orton.
Yeah, they played all the greatest hits. They mimicked each other's moves. This was their, and you got to understand too. They know it's the last time facing off against each other. So what they were going to do and the effort they were going to put into planning the match, executing the match, is going to be their top level. Like, they were not going to just wing it in and
No, they
be
weren't going to
corny
mail
about
it in.
No, you can't do that. They know that you can't do that. They didn't want to do it that way. So what they did was, it was their own kind of masterpiece for their rivalry over their careers. And we all expected... I will say this. I think the biggest thing and the biggest reason people were pissed off was they were expecting more. So many times during
I thought you were going to say
PLEs...
because of R-Truth.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. I think people are always expecting more with this world title ever since the Bloodline, except
Sure.
since Bloodline, was circling this title and a new guy was coming out, almost every single big PLE or a heel turn would happen. Everybody's expecting Cena to do something, lose the title somehow. Like,
He's ruining professional wrestling.
yes, that's it. This is exactly what his plan is. You're not supposed to like him as champion. Sorry.
Holy shit, that's what good heels do. That's why, I'm not going to sit here and say that the John Cena heel experiment is good, because I don't think it is. I think it's just mid. to be completely honest with you. Nothing special, but he literally is doing word for word what he said. And to that, I got to give him credit, you know?
I agree. I wish from the beginning this would have been only appear at pay-per-views. Once his matches are happening and once he is forced to get into the ring, that is the only reason I wanted him to be showing up. Maybe that little European tour, sure, let him have that. But at the end of the tour, just say, all right, you're done seeing me. You'll see me in the ring. And then walk off. You want him booed. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what, he's going to get some cheers. I mean, the crowd is still half and half. Like, these fickle fans want to cheer John Cena. Still.
Right.
It's crazy.
To be fair, I think I've said this before on the show, I am rooting for John Cena from afar, but if I were to purchase a ticket in the crowd during his heel run, I would boo him. You gotta play into it, but not everybody's the same. We're not all marks. And shout out to Dirk Voga stopping by. He says, "Hi guys," and Dirk, that's a great name, ain't it?
Great name.
Well, anybody named Dirk sounds like a stand-up individual.
What a name, right? Dirk Van Fleet.
I love it.
Always love it. Dirk, I want to know your thoughts on Backlash. Give me a letter grade in the comment section. That goes for anyone. If you're watching live right now, we got 34 of you watching live. Tell a friend, be a friend. Let them know that the OTM boys are live before Kyle gets hit by a tornado and dies, and then you never get to experience me on a podcast ever again.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to see because I'm in 1993, the year I was born, guys. But Eric, I'm not sure. Maybe we will probably talk about this later. Ian says no, though, to answer your
Forbidden
question.
Door.
Forbidden Door, okay. Sorry, stepped away, says the Great Brown Hope. When the clock hit 420. That's
still
my
away.
dog.
He's still not here, though. That's the thing. He stepped away, but he never came back.
He's on planet Mars now. He stepped away to a different dimension.
I don't know what 420 means. I genuinely don't.
Actually, yeah, we don't know what that means. We don't know what it is, but we do support it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you?
We're gonna keep it at a buck. So overall, WWE Backlash. If you were to give me a letter grade, what were your thoughts?
It was nothing spectacular, but there were. I wanted to watch the entire thing, which again, we talk about it a lot. These small PLEs are awesome at that because besides like a women's tag match that
I
was
could have
thrown
used
together.
a women's match. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I could have used another women's match in this card.
Yeah, I mean, I would give it maybe like a solid B, 84.
Yeah,
somewhere in that range. Nothing crazy, but it was good. It was good wrestling.
I was gonna say I think I might be closer to a B plus, and I'm usually more on the optimistic side when it comes to WWE because I really buy into what they sell most of the time. So once again, could be a little biased, but we all have our opinions. Like Dirk. Dirk said B minus, but we're still in that ballpark. But if you were to go on X and go down a random For You page of what the thoughts were, Ian, you would have thought this was more like a D or an F.
Well, like I said, I mean, obviously the internet is never wrong, and every single person that voices their opinion on Twitter, you need to listen to and really, really put into thought. Yeah, John Cena should retire, is what a lot of people are saying. Everything about WWE and all the storylines are just boring. They have too many celebrities, too, apparently. That's a thing.
To be fair,
Crazy.
I saw that take, and I'm kind of in agreement. I don't think they have too many celebrity appearances, but I think ever since TKO took over, they've been really leaning into the celebrity of it all. I know, but like they could just notch it down a little bit because when you talk about those short 5-match PLE cards, the reason they are 5-match PLE cards is because they fill the time with other BS of who's sitting in the crowd, what they're going to plug, and then when you're going to eat a Snickers. That's it.
I agree. I think mainly, which if you look at any sports league, I mean, even football now, baseball's been doing it as well. They will show the people in the crowd. They want to get familiar faces to people that may, for some reason, have never seen the product before and be like, hey, this guy's watching it. Like, it's not a weird thing to watch. I think it's a good thing for casuals to see celebrities. Obviously, I mean, again, we see it in every single league. It's not going to go away. I think it's going to be very constant. The UFC still does it. Like you said, the TKO partnership that brought the Prime bottle right in the middle of the ring.
All the ads, yeah.
Yeah, now you got the Netflix logo. We got over it pretty quickly. I think it's just going to be an adjustment period. Yes, it's annoying, but just use it as a bathroom break. We rarely have that, so
Might as well, yeah. And if you're going to watch AEW, you're never going to get a bathroom break if you're not planning on missing anything, because it's match, slight video package, match, video package. Which, hey, different strokes for different folks. We don't discriminate over here at OTM. But
No, we're tribeless.
One last thing, though, from Backlash that I wanted to touch on, and then we can briefly touch on Monday Night Raw, is you could see it behind me in our thumbnail. We know R-Truth is the main reason that John Cena, retained his WWE Undisputed title. Is this the direction you think that they are going in for maybe a Saturday night's main event? Is this a big enough match, in your opinion, for that show?
No. I'm going to say no. I don't think so for a Saturday night main event because, again, it's not technically a PLE, but it's got the PLE feel to it. I think this is a main event of a Raw, which is not a bad thing. You're still on Netflix.
Oh, I definitely think it should be on a PLE.
Here's the thing.
They got history, dude.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, I'll try to defend myself here. In the grand scheme of things, there are other guys on this roster that you would say, oh, man, if they main evented a PLE, it's going to be awesome. I mean, it's going to be like the Randy match, but the Randy versus John Cena, that's going to have to be on a poster board of some PLE. R-Truth versus John Cena? Not so much. I mean, yeah, but it's going to be about the same amount of wrestling. Like, it's not going to blow the doors down. It's not going to be crazy. I don't know. That's how I see it. There's just so many guys that if you threw their face against John Cena on the poster board of a PLE, that speaks more to me than R-Truth and Cena. And I get it. I love R-Truth. Love the dude.
Now I gotta say that from the other perspective on why I think he deserves to be on a PLE. And I think Saturday night's main event is the perfect one because to me that's not really a PLE. That's just a nationally broadcasted TV show at that point. Yes, it's streamed on Peacock too, but it's not to the level of like a Money in the Bank SummerSlam. So I think that's the perfect spot to actually do this because R-Truth and John Cena, they had that history from like 2011 when they feuded over the WWE title when it was Awesome Truth and then John Cena and The Rock. They got history there. And then, of course, that's R-Truth's childhood hero from when he was growing up, Ian, John Cena. So that's why they're going to go back to this feud. There's a lot of history here. John Cena's just going to go through the portfolio, the past, and run through these past feuds that he's had. That's how I think they're looking at it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Completely agree with everything you said. I personally see Saturday night main event as PLE-esque. I mean, it's the same cost as a PLE. It's on a Saturday, and it's a big event. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they save the big matches for it.
Yeah, and speaking of costs, Dirk, that is probably why the ticket prices are so high because of TKO. Yeah. Do you know who the first celebrity is in 2K25? No, I don't. I haven't even bought the game. Ian, did you buy the game?
No, I'm not. I don't buy games anymore. They're too expensive.
That and we don't have time. When I say I don't have time, I mean it. Every day I got something going on. Great Brown Hope said, call that match in a 5 at 5 I posted last year. Yes, he did. Exclusively on the Main Event Wrestling Network. So make sure you're subscribed and following us at mainevent_net. Great Brown Hope said they could pull a double turn with this one, to be honest. And Ian, I didn't even think about that, but they honestly could with R-Truth and John Cena. Because John Cena at the end of that match against Randy Orton, he didn't look fully heel. Like, he looked like he was kind of second-guessing himself on if his actions were warranted.
Yeah, but then the press conference happened, and Cena was still very much a heel and killed R-Truth. I would love it. I don't think it'd be a double turn. I would like seeing R-Truth kind of side with Cena, I think, because if you want to keep R-Truth around Cena.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But Cena's not turning face. I'm still sticking with it. Cena he retires as a heel. Sorry.
And I'm still sticking to it. He's going to turn face eventually. Never. He's not going to end.
He's dead to me.
The last show, Saturday night's main event in Boston. You're telling me he's going to go into there as a quote-unquote heel? He's going to get cheered regardless.
Nope. He's dead to everybody. Nobody likes him anymore.
Couple of handsome fellas. Jeremy Tillema, who I spent a lot of time on the road last Friday in the chat, refereed that main event. And he took a bump, too. I wonder if he's doing all right.
Yeah, how you feeling, Tillema?
Yeah, he was
I know you
cold.
drove home, which is impressive.
Oh, wait.
Very scary.
Damn it. Oof. I just broke kayfabe, guys. Damn it. Don't ever invite us to a show again, Steve. Great Brown Hope says, Truth turns on the fans and blames them for Cena turning on him. Cena saves the day and smiles. R-Truth smokes a cig indoors again. You know he got fined $30K for that?
Yeah, I saw that interview. That is hilarious.
Oh, that is hilarious. That was with Chris Van Fleet, right?
Yeah. Live show.
Yeah. Who inducts R-Truth when it's time to join the Hall of Fame?
Miz.
Oh,
Miz.
Road Dogg.
Road
That's who we got to
Dogg.
start with. That's who we got to start with.
Oh, that's actually a good one. Yeah, no. I like that.
Look at me pulling that out my ass. Jeremy Thomas says I'll live. Barely. Yeah, that was my mentality the whole ride home, listening to Jim Cornette's podcast. Yeah, I said that. But hey, it's okay. He got me home safe. We survived, and it was a free trip, so I can't complain. We got some grub. We made it work. We had a good time.
I was about to say, you just ruined all of our chances to get Jim Cornette on this podcast. How dare you?
Oh, God. What am I ever going to do if we don't have Jim Cornette on this fucking podcast? If he was ever on the network, I think I would quit content creation. I'm sorry. Was that a little too extreme?
No, I thought it was pretty funny.
Hi, Kine. How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen him.
It has, actually.
He's
my name's Tom now.
turning into Tuck, who will be back next week, guys.
He will be.
Tuck will be back if you missed it, because there's about like half more people that were here before. So let's talk about Monday Night Raw. We found out that we're going to be getting this match at Saturday night's main event. CM Punk, who started off Monday Night Raw with a pretty solid promo, is going to be teaming with Sami Zayn to take on the team of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. So, Ian, you said you really liked Raw. Was the opening segment one of those things that you enjoyed?
Actually, it kept my interest. I liked it, but I wasn't blown away by it. It's again, this is still just building up to something big, and I think it's going to happen at Saturday Night Main Event. I'm going to give my little takeaway here and kind of spoil my prediction. Sami Zayn's not turning heel. He's going to stay face.
No,
Let's
not yet.
swerve the fans, not with Swerve, but announce the third guy and keep Sami Zayn a face, because I get it. The crowd and a lot of people don't want to see him turn heel, which is a good thing. That would make him a really good heel. Yeah. But, man, Sami Zayn is still on this ride that he's loved everywhere he goes. And there's not a lot of guys in WWE like that.
So there's people that actually think Sami's going to turn during this match?
Oh, yeah, that's like the thing.
I mean, I guess that is like the story they kind of are telling, since they offered that, him going to SmackDown to avoid all the smoke. So I guess that would make sense then. Sami would just join Rollins and Braun, but I'm still under the belief that I don't think they need a third member, if it were to be a third member, I feel like it should be Becky Lynch, just to diversify the faction.
So
I
think she joins, but I think there's a third man. I
so
genuinely
you think
do.
That's big, Ian? That's a lot. That's three guys, Becky Lynch and Paul Heyman. That's a lot of personality. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, well, the Bloodline was a lot of personality, was it not?
Sure.
From Seth Rollins' promo, he talked to Braun and said they think they're winning. And he keeps saying they as in Sami, CM Punk, Jey Uso, a collective group, and they keep hinting at there is a third guy coming, or some master plan is happening, as we've seen with Seth Rollins before.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone's saying Sami Zayn. There was a screenshot of Sami Zayn holding the chair this past week, and it was kind of reminiscent of the Shield breaking up. So that's kind of where everyone's jumping to. I would love Becky to join. However,
what do you think
just
about
from
what Kyne's saying?
I want Theory as the third guy. Sami ain't going to be the heel. He's too loved. I agree completely.
Not feeling Austin Theory. I feel like that's too in your face, and he still has to turn face, I think, right?
Well,
like Theory has to turn face on Grayson Waller. I think that's inevitable.
Exactly. I don't think that right now is the time. I think Theory is right on the precipice of being a face that people were loving. And I think him and Grayson Waller, once that turn happens, it's going to be awesome for Austin Theory. It's going to have to be a huge deal. I don't know who that could be. Maybe a Drew McIntyre. I mean, I don't know.
That do anything for you?
The third man will be a main roster debut for Trick Williams.
He is showing like a Hollywood trick side to him.
Yeah, but again, you have to think about this. They are making this a huge deal, like already, and this is early into them actually hinting at a third guy. We were speculating for the longest time, so you got to think of the common audience. How many people know Trick Williams? He hasn't been showed too much on the main roster or like PLEs.
Yeah.
Royal Rumbles, that's about it.
Same with Oba, like Kind saying, like, what if Oba were to lose to Miles unexpectedly at Battleground and then join? I feel like Oba needs to be the main focus, and he would get lost in the shuffle in that faction. Because Oba's that guy. Oba's him.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't want to see Oba with this group, personally. I've told you who I want to see. Do you remember who I said?
I don't remember.
Ethan Page.
Oh, that's right.
Dude, the perfect chick. You need a chicken shit heel. You got the juice head and Braun Breaker. You got the mastermind, Paul Heyman, the wise man.
Yep.
You got the Messiah, whatever the fuck he is, the architect, Seth Rollins. And you have the man, Becky Lynch. And then you have just the shitty, cocky heel in Ethan Page that gets beat up.
I'll throw my prediction. I like yours, but again, I go back to, okay, with the general audience, I think this is a huge deal. I agree. He would be fucking awesome. We know him from AEW. We know him in NXT, but not the whole main roster audience knows him. They could easily build him up into a big deal within the faction. But
he's been featured on a couple of things here.
That is true. Yeah, he's been involved with The Rock backstage at NXT as well. Here's a guy I want to see. I want your true take on it. Omos.
Okay. Love it, honestly. Like, I can't think of anything else for Omos to do, and if he's under contract and you need him to be on TV, that's probably the best fit.
Yeah. And when is the last time we had a genuine big man become a big deal? And like,
dude,
an
he should
actual
just be
threat?
their bodyguard. That's literally
Exactly.
what he should be.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, that was, I think, his shoot gimmick before he joined wrestling. He was just a bodyguard, and somebody saw him. It was like, hey, you want to wrestle? He's like, yeah. And he actually is athletic.
I was about to say, didn't Vogus? Yeah, Vogus saw him at some event.
He patted him down probably at the door.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, it is very terrifying.
Sorry.
Also, Kind, thank you. I have said it a couple times on the podcast, so I didn't want to keep hitting the nail over the head, but I know a lot of different people catch us at different times, so Omos isn't a bad mood for the group. See, you got Eric.
Yeah, I mean, I want another big man again. Like a Great Khali was fantastic. He was not good in the ring.
Not fantastic, but spectacle.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. He was a good spectacle, and you're like, oh, this guy could actually kill somebody. He made a palm to the head believable, and like crushing the head. Ugh. That scared me when I was a kid.
That's what your girl Bailey Humphrey's going to be doing here shortly on TV.
Oh, she's so fucking good.
Yeah, I know you're attaching the rocket to her for sure.
Huge.
Oh, hi Jordy. What are you doing here? Well, Jordy's making an appearance. You can't see her, but because there's a green screen. I hope that doesn't mean that there's a storm coming. I'm just a little frightened.
Technically, there are 2 guys on the screen and 2 golden retrievers on the screen. First time in OTM history.
Should I just show my parents?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. A little peek behind the curtain. We're going to take off the background for a little bit. There she is back there. Jordy, say hi. Jordy's OTM debut. Everybody, look. It's Jordy and Wyatt. There they are.
They're in the same spots. Wait, hold on.
Oh, they are so cute. Jordy, say hi. The fans are watching you. This is the worst podcast of all time.
It is funny, though. Your camera's not lagging anymore, though.
I mean, yeah, but I don't want to show off where my family lives. You know, that's just a little too much peek behind the curtain right there. So, Jordy, nice to see you. I am going to have to let you out, though, after the podcast. All right, good talk. Where were we at? The comments. We got a couple comments. Hold on. What about no, Kind. We're not saying his name. We're not even going there. And honestly, Kind, we both are LFG guys. I don't hate that either, even though that's a little too much too soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, give the guy time. He is still
I like the shout,
green.
though.
Yeah, I love Shiloh Hill. Another guy I would love to strap the rocket to.
Kind was waving at the dogs. Dirk asked, where's Ralph? The family is vacationing in the Carolinas right now, so they are living a much better life than me. Just kidding. Actually, we got Goldens. We got wrestling.
Yeah, that's all
We're
you
doing
need.
shit. We're also going a little over time than I expected. We did it again pre-show. We said we weren't going to go long. We're going to go long probably. We could keep this brief. I just wanted to point out the fact that AJ Styles versus Finn Balor was a great wrestling match. That's it.
And what killed me is the crowd didn't give two
Yes!
shits.
What
Oh my
the
God.
fuck?
That was one part that I
Yes.
figured most people would be like, oh, that was an okay match, or like, oh, it was all right that it happened.
Right.
People don't understand. This is the first time this has happened, correct?
Yes.
In
first
WWE?
time. Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Oh, wait, no,
insane.
second. I think it was the second time.
Oh, okay. Well, still insane. And they were doing Bullet Club references throughout. So, Finn Balor, by the way, this is the Prince Devitt character. Like,
We
more
need
closely.
him to get one final
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, I agree.
Money in the Bank? Interesting choice.
If Dom's title was anything but just the Intercontinental title, maybe. I don't want to see
Hey,
the Money in the
They've done
Bank.
it with the United States title before.
I know. This year's such a big year. I mean,
I
obviously
agree.
Cena
I agree.
is out of the scope. You're not going to do cash in on
Nobody's
Cena.
cashing in on Cena, no.
No. So, I mean, I guess you could do Finn Balor the Money in the Bank.
If not now, it's never. Because I think
true.
both these guys are also in their mid-40s, which, again, I don't know the reasoning for why the crowd wasn't invested into it. They also probably could have done a better job hyping up this match, I think, just in general, promoting this one, because this is a marquee matchup anywhere. I mean, a decade ago, Bullet Club was the coolest thing in professional wrestling. You had fucking, what is it, Hot Topic selling merch? Like, when does a store sell wrestling merch? Hot Topic does. That's how over AJ Styles and Finn Balor were in the Bullet Club. So I just wanted to give them some shout for sure. But the Great Brown Hope said Del Rio's contract is AAA. WWE just provides money
Yeah,
for AAA.
agree.
So, yeah, you won't see him in a WWE ring. Thank God.
Oh, darn it.
Kind said last time Finn did a Bullet Club reference, Vince had him squashed by
Yeah.
Kane. Well, Vince ain't here anymore, right?
Fuck that guy.
Anything else from Monday Night Raw other than the main event that you want to talk about?
Becky promo.
Okay, yeah. Becky heel.
Holy shit.
Dude, she knows what the fuck she's doing, right?
Okay, well, the thing is, like, again, I have been so bashful on the man character, but because it was always so cheesy and it felt forced. That felt legit. Like, it felt like, obviously, hey, they're good friends backstage, so she didn't really mean it. But
I'm cutting your mic.
but
WWE
oh my
shop
God.
affiliate.
I genuinely felt that promo. So, we thought Becky would have the title, but I am glad she does not have the title because a hungry Becky, a pissed off Becky is awesome. Also, I'm in the middle of reading her audiobook too, so
It's a great
reading.
book.
yeah, it's
Great
been really
book.
good so far.
I'll tell you this. This is where I think the vision's going now. So everybody knows originally where I thought it was headed. I now don't believe Becky's even going to win the Intercontinental title. I think Bayley's going to return for their next match, cost Becky, and then you just have Bayley and Becky do a non-title feud throughout the summer that culminates at SummerSlam. Because I think, honestly, you don't need a title. Sure, it would make it interesting.
It's not
Bayley
about
and
the title.
Becky. Yeah, but sometimes it's bigger than the title. And if you have Bayley, who Becky keeps talking shit about, keeps referencing in interviews, cost her another match against Lyra, there's your summer, right?
Yep, and all of these like shoot interviews she was doing, I mean, it was with WWE
intentional.
personnel. That's just in line with her character right now.
Yep.
Everyone, the whole Smart Mark IWC says, we're saying that Bayley is out of the window right now. It looks like she wants to leave. That's the fucking point, people. Mm-hmm. They're going to play this story out. It's going to make sense.
Don't work yourself into a work. That's what I always say. I don't
Yeah.
even know if that makes sense, but
Work
let's
yourself
move
into a
it.
shoot, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Main event Monday Night Raw. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defeated Julia and Roxanne, which I have spoken my praises of Julia and Roxanne multiple times on this podcast and NXT Night Shift, which, by the way, if you're not watching NXT Night Shift every Tuesday at 9:15 Central after NXT, you're missing out. Ian, I know you at least catch some clips afterwards. We have a good time
do.
over there.
Yes, you guys have extremely good chemistry, and I'm really jealous.
We have good chemistry, too.
We
okay?
got no chemistry.
You're
I
right.
hate it here.
Okay, let's talk wrestling. Main event time, Ian. I'm kidding, guys. I'm not gonna do that the rest. Could you imagine if there was a podcast like that? There probably is.
No, there 100% is. We're wrestling
probably
podcast.
You know, me and Jay Gold were joking around because, like, apparently the average of a podcast life is 9 episodes.
Correct. Yes.
9. We are at 246 and have been doing this for 6 years. That's dedication, brother.
I'm still a part-timer, though. Don't forget it.
You've been here for what now? Like 4 of it?
4
yeah.
years.
Damn. Erica was what? She was the real part-timer.
Yeah. We'll take shots at her, yeah.
Yeah, take that, Erica, because I know you ain't going to see it, bitch. Is Roman Reigns on another vacation? He's hardly around anymore. You know what, Dirk? He's older now. He's superseded, like, full-timer status, and he's also probably, you know, monitoring his health, I would assume. Because he has had leukemia, right, in the past?
Yes, correct.
Fuck it, turn Rio on Io, and Mommy can be back on top. Honestly, that's
turn
what
her heel.
I was thinking to do that, though, Ian, because I don't know if I even want to see another Io and Rhea thing, because I feel like they keep revisiting the same feuds over and over again.
Correct. I mean, the women's division is in a stall, but it doesn't mean it's not bad. It just means, like you said, same people going around, circled around
Well,
titles.
that's why this match happened. That's why
Yeah,
Julia
correct.
and Roxanne are here.
Yep, get them introduced. Also, it makes sense now a little bit why Roxanne was doing tag team stuff in NXT, because it was probably get your reps in as a tag team. That's what you're going up with Julia, because you need Roxanne to be with Julia, because you need a talking piece. Well, you need a talking piece, and you want Julia to start wrestling in front of the big crowds, and she's showing how damn good she is. It's just
great.
that the promo's not great.
No.
It just doesn't work, you know? So you have to have Roxanne by your side. Talk.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Julia, and being a heel is an easy way, too, to just get a reaction, you know, evoke something from the crowd, because when she was a babyface in NXT, it kind of was just like the no reaction type of deal whenever her music hit, and you would rather get some kind of reaction. So Julia being a heel, her being on the main roster, it's freshening things up. And even though they lost, I'm not freaking out, but it seemed like people were saying they were getting buried because they lost this main event. Realistically, Ian, in what world are two newcomers going to come to the main roster, defeat the world champion and a former world champion? It's just not going to happen.
Zero world. We joke about it a lot, and we mention the IWC, but the takes on there are absolutely ridiculous at times, and that was one of them. I had not seen that.
Julia and Roxanne got buried because
That's
they
so
lost
crazy.
a main event of Monday Night Raw. Were put in the prime spot on Netflix, and I think maybe their third time wrestling on Monday Night Raw.
And it was a good about 20-minute match between the two teams.
Tozawa would be begging on his knees for that spot.
Yeah, I do want to mention just really quickly, I'm worried for Miro already. That sounds
Rusev.
really bad. Oh, Rusev. Sorry. I genuinely did not mean to do
I'm
that.
actually not worried for Rusev. I think I like where his character is going.
Here's the thing. It feels very AEW-ish. The promo, I mean, it felt like it was an AEW promo.
Feels
It
very
did-
Veer.
Oh gosh, no. But
He's coming.
It's not because of the matchups. I like that they're utilizing Alpha Academy in this situation, but I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of it right now. And the crowd is not either. It's very quiet for the crowd, but I haven't seen him. I haven't seen his match yet. I didn't look back and watch the first match. Could be different.
You jabroni.
Yeah.
Unreal. Watch it back. I didn't know this. Roxanne is 2-16 since October. That's pretty crazy. I mean,
It is
records,
crazy.
in
Didn't
the
know
grand
that.
scheme of things, records don't matter in professional wrestling.
Oh.
But, like, reading that, it's like, okay, maybe she could have won a few more, you know? Just a few more than 2.
Well, the thing is, would you ever have known that? That she was 2-16?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
That just shows you how good they do at presenting
Yeah.
superstars.
Exactly.
Kinds of new talent losing to main event stars is not being buried. So many fucking idiots in this community. Yeah, could have said it better myself. Plus, Roxanne is officially the youngest person to main event a Raw. Holy shit!
that is
yeah,
pretty
like
true.
So how is that a bad thing?
No, she's buried, honestly.
Yeah, and also she was in the Rumble Elimination Chamber. Yeah,
Top 4 in the Rumble, by the way.
Yeah,
Or top 3, I think.
and a focal point in Elimination Chamber too. Maxine could be the new Lana, another hot blonde chick besides a meaty European man. Honestly, he's probably not wrong, but I like what Maxine does with Otis and Tozawa.
Yeah.
And who's the losses to? It's a great question.
Probably
top
world
talent.
champions.
Yeah. As long as it's not Cora Jade, who is no longer with the company, then it wouldn't look credible. But that wasn't a shot at Cora Jade, by the way. I want to put that on the record.
Man.
Not a shot. I am a big Elena Black fan, have spoken my praises on this podcast. So, speaking of Elena Black, who I think has one career appearance in AEW, let's briefly talk about AEW because we are on the road to AEW Double or Nothing, one of their biggest, if not the biggest, pay-per-views of the year for AEW. So this is going to be a very broad question, Ian. But before we get into like specific things that went down on Dynamite, what's your overall vibe with just AEW as a whole? Are you feeling what they're giving you on Dynamite and Collision as of late?
I am. Again, we talked about it before. AEW is starting to feel like AEW, where I know it sounds super cheesy, but I'm having fun watching it. It doesn't seem too forced in the storytelling aspect. They're letting things fly a little bit. I think the perfect like encapsulation of that is Ricochet's match versus Zach Gowen, who is a wrestler from the past, amputee, and he wrestles with one leg. On paper, you're like, oh, that's stupid. Why are they doing this? First off, it's an awesome moment for Zach Gowen because the guy deserves it. And he's a veteran. Also, they made it extremely entertaining, and Ricochet was able to become a bigger heel from this match. And he ended up murdering Zach Gowen, as on paper he should. They didn't deter away from that. They could have easily gone with the babyface, holy shit, Zach Gowen won reaction.
Right.
But it wasn't a spectacular match. Obviously, he's got one
Yeah, I was
fucking
going to say,
leg.
it wasn't really my cup of tea, but I do understand the value.
Yeah, and again, it's a feel-good moment, but Zach Gowen got murdered in the end of it. And they set up Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet, which, okay, cool, I guess, but they made something out of it, which is new for AEW. Old AEW would have easily had Zach Gowen win. Ricochet becomes more of a heel because he's really, pissed off, but
Right.
this was perfect. I loved that segment.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to say this, and I think we've consistently been saying this over the past 6 years of this podcast, is that if you want great professional wrestling, exciting in-ring professional wrestling each week, AEW is the best in the business, bar none. I'm telling you, man, I see a 5-star match, if you want to call it a 5-star match, because I hate the star system regardless, but you're going to get that every single week. That's what they're good at. They are consistent at putting on great wrestling matches. But the thing that I've noticed as of late is that there's actually been some compelling long-term stories that they are telling. And that's how you get me as a fan in professional wrestling. So overall grand scheme of things for me, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. It's just like there's nothing I really want to go deep dive and analyze because everything is just good. It's like I don't have anything to complain about.
I was going to say, the one thing I did really want to talk about is, again, who hasn't talked shit about the whole Jon Moxley title run? I thought the main event was okay. I didn't think it was anything special.
The Moxley title run sucks.
I'm enjoying where I think this story is going with the Young Bucks. I know you hate the Young Bucks as well, so this is not lining up for you in a good aspect.
You're setting me up for a rant.
I would love for you to rant because
No, it's just something I've already ranted about, Ian. It just doesn't make sense. The Young Bucks are the EVPs of AEW, All Elite Wrestling. The Death Riders are sent here to destroy All Elite Wrestling, destroy the jobs of the Young Bucks, and you're telling me they're in cahoots?
Okay,
It doesn't make sense to me. Please tell me.
I agree. Yes, on paper, it does not make sense at all. Yes, I do. The way I see it is more from a character aspect. I think they're leaving the whole CEO thing in the background. I mean, Tony Schiavone even talked about it during one of the matches and said, if we want to call them EVPs, I know they call themselves that.
Okay.
He did address it, so it hasn't not been talked about. I wish it was more of a thing where it's like, Young Bucks aren't around.
Put it more in your face.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
Say you took away their EVP titles.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think what I get from it, again, I love diving into stories and like it's kind of like a book, like or like a song. It's like, what is your meaning for
There's
it?
layers.
Yeah, my meaning is Young Bucks were gone for a while. No one knows why. They lost the titles and just left because they were on top. Now they're coming back on top while trying to partner with a dominant faction in the Death Riders. That's how I see it. They're surviving. They're trying to thrive. But that's how I see it.
Yeah, and trust me, your side of the story makes sense, but to me, it's just not connecting.
Yeah.
And
Fair.
and like you said, the main event itself, like Moxley retains, which I don't think anybody is surprised with whatsoever. Of course, you got the physicality, you got the blood. That's about par with a Jon Moxley match, especially inside a steel cage. Of course, you're gonna get shenanigans too. outside of the ring and whatnot. But like, you know what, like you said it, I thought it was fine. I'm getting tired of not being able to physically see the AEW title. And I know that is part of the reason why they're doing it. They want people to be pissed off. Well, it's been over 200 fucking days. Show your world title.
I agree. I do agree with that because it has been a long-ass time since we've seen that title. Again, they've reached the pinnacle of how much people are going to hate Jon Moxley. Now it's just annoying. It's not hate. It's not heel heat.
I'm starting to hate him.
It's annoying, like genuinely fucking annoying. But yeah. Also, writing's on the wall. It's going to be Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. Do you think that is the guy?
Kenny and Okada. That's what
for the world title. If that segment at the end that screamed to me, holy shit, Kenny Omega is our guy. He is Mr. AEW, right? I would say. Well, Moxley's the greatest champion, but. Two greatest champions in AEW going at it for this title right now.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's just make this a fatal 5-way with all of your top stars. No, fatal 6-way. Swerve Strickland. Oh, why am I blanking on all the top stars? Hangman Page. Here we go. Help me out here. Jon Moxley. Will Ospreay, Okada, and Kenny Omega. There's your 6. That match would be insane.
Jesus.
Swerve, Okada, Omega, Ospreay, Moxley. Come on. I don't know. They're not going to do it. But where is Jack Perry? That is a great question.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Don't know, Eric. Let us know when you find out. I'm kind of with you. I watch on and on. How come they don't show the title? It's in a briefcase, right?
Yeah. It's in the briefcase that Moxley holds. He brings it to the ring every time.
Which it was the briefcase used to help him retain. Because Gabe Kidd helped him out, going off of Eric's comment earlier. They did not say he is all elite, correct?
He did not. No, I think Forbidden Door's coming up here soon. We got Anarchy in the arena with Gabe Kidd, but Forbidden Door's coming up.
Like eventually, though, I think he probably will sign. Wouldn't you assume?
I would say so. He seems like a very AEW guy. Just that New Japan background. I wouldn't say no to him in WWE, though. I think he'd be awesome in WWE.
Yeah, he would be. I would be interested to see how they would present him over there. And I know I didn't have MJF in that match. I kept him out just because he's preoccupied and because we're going to talk about it. The fact that he is officially a member of the Hurt Syndicate. It happened. Big Bob gave him the thumbs up. I've been loving this, and I think everything that MJF touches in AEW instantly becomes the most interesting segment that doesn't have to do with a title. Because he just makes everything money. Just tell me how you've been feeling about this and the fact that now he's going to be working with the Hurt Syndicate.
I wish in my fantasy booking mind. Here, I'll even show you my note. I'm not going to spoil it until you read what the note says, and then I'll say it for the audio listeners back home. But wait, did I not save it? I did not save it. But I time-stamped right before the match a note that said, Keith Lee joins the Hurt Syndicate. I was listening to the song, the theme song. They say Limitless in it. I know, obviously, that's probably just a coincidence, but...
You, Mark.
Yeah, I know. My Mark ass is like, holy shit, they've been hinting at this whole time. Keith Lee, who is, again, just recently did update everybody saying he's still not ring ready, but I thought it was a work. He's hurt, still hurt. He's had a lot of health problems. And
he hurts people.
Other issues. Yeah. It's making more sense now.
Keith Lee gets hurt. He hurts people. I just kind of sounded like Donald Trump singing this. So, he hurts people.
He hurts people.
Sorry, guys. We're not promoting any political agenda here. Don't freak the fuck out now. Owen Hart walked so MJF could run. I never got to experience Owen Hart, so I really can't, comment on that. Yeah, I'm not too sure. The Miz walked so MJF could run. That is closer.
That's closer, yes.
That's closer. Still not 100% because I think MJF is a far better in-ring wrestler than Miz. God, had a brain fart there for a second. Max Caster is AEW's best wrestler. Yeah, he is. By definition.
Kind of. Not technically, though. Not factually. He is the best wrestler alive. Yeah. So that is a 100%. You cannot take that away from him because he bought it. He bought the rights to it.
And Lil Wayne's the best rapper alive, as he said in his song. That was my worst impression of Lil Wayne.
That was pretty bad.
Any other? I didn't really get into it. best rapper. No, I can't do this. I tried, guys. I tried. Any other thoughts, though, on MJF and the Hurt Syndicate?
I love how they're booking, or they're growing into Ospreay versus Hangman. They are making this match. Enjoying the Nation domination. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
No, I like what they're doing with Hangman and Ospreay. I wasn't totally set on this match. I was like, all right, it'll be a good wrestling match, obviously, but I don't really give a shit. They're making me give a shit now because it seems like Hangman's got his stride back. His cowboy boots are on, walking.
He's got his swagger back.
Yeah, and he's, again, another top guy in the Awakening. As soon as you need him, he's kind of like a Moxley. As soon as you need him, he's there.
Yeah, for sure. Kind says MJF on the Hurt Syndicate gives me Christian at Survivor Series vibes when he was with the All Black team. All right. I don't think I remember that. I mean, I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it happened. Trust me. I know he's probably not bullshitting us. But one last thing I did want to touch on from Dynamite is the fact that Mina Shirakawa pinned Toni Storm on Dynamite. So I don't know if they made this official, Ian, because I told you I'm not as locked in as I once was, but it seems like this could be the match for Toni Storm, and I feel like Mina just really gets shotgunned right to the title scene every time she comes back to AEW, which I don't know how I feel about it. I like Mina, but a lot of Mina. We're getting a lot of her.
I agree. Also, it is official, Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the title.
Where at? Double or Nothing?
At Double or Nothing, yeah.
Okay. That's a good match.
Yeah, it's a good match. Again, it's one of those situations where it's like, I don't care for Mina. You know what I mean?
I feel like she has charisma more than a lot of the international talents.
Yes, I agree. But it's it could just be a personal thing. Does not click for me.
You don't like attractive women.
Yep, that's why I'm single.
You don't think she's attractive?
What?
I know we're not that kind of. I'm joking. I'm joking. 2009, he was with Kofi, MVP, Mark Henry, and R-Truth, and then Christian. He did a backstage segment as a joke, saying how he's different only because he was the Canadian in the group. Okay. Yes, I do remember that segment, kind. Yes, that is facts. Okay. Anything else, though, from AEW Dynamite that you wanted to discuss before we give out our MVM title?
I'm looking through my notes. I do have notes. I did write them down. I do want to say, I texted you this. This has nothing to do with any storylines or anything. It's about the crowd. Does it have to do with
AEW?
No. Well, technically. That might have been, it could have been my TV speakers. I had them on pretty quiet, but that crowd seemed like it was shit. And that was a Chicago crowd. That takes a lot.
I thought the same thing.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what? You're a liar.
No, Oh, no. Oh, you talk about the crowd. Yeah, no, I was on my vitamins when I responded. I gave it a sec. I gave it a second watch, and I agree with you. It was a calm crowd.
That crowd is shit.
For Chicago, it was maybe the acoustics are a small venue, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, that is true. We're so used to AEW's new thing of doing smaller venues that it could have been like that.
Right. Anything else, though? Sorry, I kind of cut you off.
That's all I got now.
Okay, fair enough. So you can see it on in the background if you are watching us, of course, live on YouTube, X, or Facebook. We prefer if you would watch it on YouTube going forward. That's the best way to keep up with the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast because we are on the road to 500 subscribers. So be a friend, tell a friend. We are live every single week talking professional wrestling. And Ian, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say every single week. I can't tell you the last time that we took a week off.
It was this year. We had one time this year.
It's usually 1 or 2 times a year, which is impressive.
But again, don't let the people fool you. I'm a part-timer. I'm not here forever.
You're not a part-timer anymore, dude.
Yeah, I do. We need a new name change.
You need a new gimmick.
Everybody
in
the chat. Yeah, I was going to say, everybody in the chat, throw out some ideas for a new gimmick because I've kind of outran this one. I'm like the Chris Jericho of the OTM podcast. Change the gimmick every year.
I don't know if you want to be called the Chris Jericho of the OTM podcast.
I do. He's one of my goats.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, here we are. Like I said, MVM title on the line, like usual. And we actually disagree. We go to the private chat after every show. We debate about who deserves that title. And tonight, there was a few in the chat. We had Eric Douglas here. We had Kine. We had the Great Brown Hope. As the fellas are tweeting or sending out their gimmick recommendations. We'll get to those afterwards. But I disagree with you, Ian, and I'm going to make the executive decision.
Okay.
That we have and I think it's new. It might be still. Eric Douglas of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. So congrats to Eric for hanging out with us. He was here for the long haul. Kine came in and made a good run. It was great to have Kine back. He was my second choice. But, for me to Ian, it had to be Eric Douglas tonight.
Yeah, no, by the way, Great Brown Hope, do you see how Kyle did not mention you whatsoever? It's because he doesn't like you. Genuinely does not like you.
Despise him. Oh, wait, am I saying that out loud?
Oh, yeah, sorry, you're muted. Or you got to be muted.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we are. Eric Douglas was not in my cards because maybe I was riding the hype of Kine return, a big return.
Yeah,
just,
it was
just
exciting. I wasn't blinded by it, Ian. I think you were.
Yeah, I was blinded by the lights, literally, because this light is fucking bright and hot.
Let's get these lights out of here. Let's turn our lights off because that's it for episode 246. But great things on the horizon. If you missed it earlier, our third member of this show, the Ying to my Yang, the Pippin to my Jordan, the HB Shizzle to my Triple H, Jim Tucker returns to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. I cannot wait, and here are the recommendations for your gimmick. Tom Donlong, I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that. I know I botched that. Tom
Donlong.
The Thursday Night Messiah is actually kind of cool.
What is Tom DeLong? What the fuck is that?
It's a guy he says you look like. Ian LaFleur. Ian dresses up like Ricky from
Great Brown
CBB.
Hope, I am upset because I did that for our Halloween episode, so obviously you forgot about it. That's a shame. I thought that was memorable.
Nick Wayne, Billy Sky, and Julia are the best new wrestlers in AEW. There you go. You heard it here first. He didn't even acknowledge that he won a title. He said, fuck the title. I'm going to talk about AEW some more. And Great Brown Hope does it for the gang. Gang. Main event in the house. So make sure you're following the Main Event Gang at mainevent_net. Ian, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about the Main Event Wrestling Network if they don't already know?
Yeah, Main Event Wrestling Network. As we already announced it before, we're going to be doing a 24-hour live stream where it is all the personalities of the Main Event Wrestling Network. And trust me, we are vast. We don't all share the same opinion like some networks do. But we actually counteract each other. We do content in our own ways. We do blogs. We do podcasts.
What?
That's about it right now.
Live shows.
It's a podcast.
Mixers
we do live
are
shows
not
as well.
podcasts. Those are live shows.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But we're a little limited. But if you enjoy wrestling, if you love wrestling and want to express your love for wrestling, contact one of us or just go at mainevent_net. Hit us up, and we want to give people a platform because we want to spread the love of wrestling.
We're doing main event moves over here all year long. 24-hour stream coming your way. Stay tuned for more details of that. And, of course, we will be back next week because the OTM boys are always live on the Thursday night. Well, I shouldn't say always, guys, because we're not always live on Thursday nights. But that's why you should follow us at Pod on the Mark. So thank you, everyone, for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.